Despite 5 years of what I considered to be a perfect marriage, I have felt dejected for the past 2 weeks. We were getting ready to go over to Tom and Nancy's for grilled steaks and a bit of socializing. We had moved to this neighborhood about a year ago and had been to several of their informal socials before. This time, however, it would be just them and us. I guess Tom was an all-right kind of guy, but a little too forward for my taste. He openly flirted with the ladies and at times let his hands roam just a bit too much. Throw in a bit of arrogance and you have Tom, a guy some people found easy to dislike. Nancy was just as big of a flirt as Tom, but without the arrogance. She was fun, energetic, bubbly, considerate, and often the life of the party. She was also a persistent tease, and I have had to extract myself from her more than once when dancing at some of these get-togethers. She did like to get up close and personal, and it didn't seem to make any difference who she was dancing with at the time. Damn it, Samantha. Are you going to spend all day in the shower? Sam, short for Samantha, is my wonderful, loving, devoted, and now cheating wife of 5 years. I know, at least I think I know, she has not been completely faithful. Hence the real reason for my crummy mood. All I need is the proof, like catching her in the act. I tried that yesterday. She said that she had a business lunch to go to and would be a little late getting home that evening. So I took yesterday afternoon off, went over to her work with the intention of following her and catching them in the act. Fred, my good fishing buddy, is the culprit, and when I catch them I will have a few choice words for him and maybe a right cross to his chin as well. Fred is not married, and he does love the ladies. I used to like listening to his tales of conquest of this girl, or that married woman, or whatever. But when I figured out that one of those married women included my dearly beloved wife, well, needless to say, Fred and I will not be fishing together anymore. Samantha, will you hurry up? We'll be late. Okay, just a minute. Have a little patience, will ya? They had been seen in a bar together about 5 weeks ago, just a week before our birthday. We were both born on the same day of the same month of the same year. I am exactly 12 hours older than Sam. I was born at 5:10 a.m. and she was born at 5:10 p.m. I still tease her about me being older and wiser once in a while. The bar was right next to the hunting and fishing supplies store Fred and I use. Fred was sitting at the counter drinking a beer when she walked in and said,
Fred.
I've got a problem, and I think you're just the guy to help me with it. He looked up and said, Well, hello, Sam. Grab a stool and tell me all about it. I do not know what they talked about, as my witness was too far away to hear. They talked for about 15 minutes, and then they got into his truck and drove away. They returned about 3 hours later. She leaned over, kissed him on the cheek, got out of his truck and into her car, and left. I remember asking her what she had done that afternoon, and all she said was, Wouldn't you like to know? And then she went upstairs and took a shower. I didn't find out about this little episode until 2 weeks ago during boys' night out. Mike, Tom's friend, took me aside and told me all about it. The thing of it is, she has been acting a little reserved with me for the past couple of weeks. Reserved hell, no S. Between the headaches, upset stomachs, and being too tired, not even so much as a decent kiss. To top everything off, yesterday afternoon had been a complete waste of time. When I got to her work, her car was already gone. I started out driving past every restaurant and lunch counter that I could think of.
No luck.
I then toured the parking lots of the most likely bars.
No luck.
I checked all the hot sheet hotels I could think of.
No luck.
I drove by asshole Fred's house twice.
No luck.
I even drove past our house a couple of times.
No luck.
Wherever the hell they went, they were damn good at not being found. All I managed to accomplish was a wasted afternoon and an almost empty gas tank. She was home when I got there, and I knew she had been up to something by the look on her face. The shower is all yours. Wow, there she stood, in all her glory. Damn, I could just sit and look at her forever. She had her hair gathered up under a towel that was wrapped tightly around her head. Long flowing dark hair that didn't stop until just below her shoulder blades. Soft brown eyes, small turned-up nose, and a mouth that is so kissable. That is except for the past couple of weeks. I got up and started. Don't even think about it, Robert. Go take your shower. Make it a cold one. Yes, dear. Yep, that's me. Robert. Usually, she says Bob, but lately it has been Robert more often than not. I haven't heard Booby, which is what she often says in the throes of passion, for the past 2 weeks. Oh well. Saturday, 2:30 p.m. My handsome, loving, devoted, cheating husband of 5 years hung his head and went into the shower. He has been on my bad side for 2 weeks now, and that's not going to change anytime in the near future. Boys' night out my ass. More like boys' night to go out and F some damn W. The nights out started right after we bought this house, a little over a year ago. New to the neighborhood, we wanted to blend in, have friends, be good neighbors, and do all of the things normal people do. Every couple of months the guys would supposedly go to a sports bar, watch some game on the big screen, yell and scream, and have a few beers too many. Not wanting to be left out, we girls would go to a quieter bar and have a few drinks of our own. Not only would we gossip about anyone that didn't show up, we would exchange rumors about one another face to face. This was our time to let our hair down and have a little fun, even if it was at someone else's expense. No one ever got their feelings hurt too badly, and we always remained friends when we left. Tom and Nancy's is where we are going this evening. Tom is an ass. He always pulls me way too tight to him when we dance, and he can't keep his hands off my ass. I had to slap him once when he copped a feel. Thank goodness Robert didn't see it. He would have made a big scene right there. I have no idea what Nancy would have thought about it. Nancy is a predator. That's the only way I know how to describe her. She dances with most of the guys the same way Tom tries to dance with me. I get the feeling she would take Robert to bed in a heartbeat if she had half a chance. Tom and Nancy are an okay couple, and they are fun to hang out with once in a while. They were just a little more free-thinking than we were. Us? Just what are us thinking? What am I thinking? I haven't been able to think straight for 2 weeks. Not since Janet, Nancy's friend, took me aside and told me of Robert's busty girlfriend. She had seen Robert in one of the better downtown restaurants having lunch with some redhead. Evidently, this little tryst took place just a week before our birthday. The thing is, Robert had started to act a little secretively about that time. Like there was something he wanted to keep hidden from me. Well, that isn't going to work. As a matter of fact, I attempted to catch him out yesterday, but it was a complete waste of time. I had told him of a business lunch and a probable late meeting yesterday, and that I might be a little late getting home. For just a moment, he got a far-off look in his eyes, and then appeared to make a decision. It was so obvious. He saw a chance to be with his red-haired bimbo. Well, I knew how to take care of that. The first thing I did yesterday morning was cancel my lunch and meeting and reschedule them for early next week. I then told my boss that something unexpected had come up, and I had to have the afternoon off. He reluctantly agreed. I left work about 11:30 and headed for Robert's work. Due to midday traffic, I didn't get there until about 5 after 12, and guess what? His car was already gone. So I started searching the parking lots of the most likely places. Restaurants, bars, motels. I even went by our house 3 times. I finally gave up about 6:30 and went home. Robert came home about 15 minutes after I did, and he had the most guilty look on his face that I have ever seen. Needless to say, we didn't talk much last night. That was the problem. I didn't know how to talk to him about this. We have had the perfect marriage up until now. We have never been out of sorts or upset with one another. I know that we have to talk. I just don't know how to start the conversation. I can't just tap him on the shoulder and ask him if he's been sleeping with someone else. Can I? Damn it. I really didn't want to go there this evening, but I didn't see any way out of it. We had made this commitment at our birthday party. Tom would probably find some excuse to get close and bump or rub against me, and that's it. I can make this work, and I know just how to go about it. If Robert, Bobby boy, Casanova thinks he has the market cornered on fooling around, well, he has another thing coming. I'll just make this little party work for me tonight. Saturday, 3 p.m. While I was thinking, nothing is as good as a long, hot shower to make the body feel better. Just standing there, soaking up the heat, breathing the hot, moist air in and out of my lungs. It's so relaxing. Too bad it doesn't work as well on the mind. I've been in here for 30 minutes and my fingers are starting to wrinkle. Time to get out. I toweled off and went into the bedroom. There she sat at the vanity. What in the hell was she thinking? Honey, is that what you're wearing this evening? This and that dress laying on the bed. Why? Well, oh, never mind. Dress? Dress on the bed? That dress on the bed. No, not that dress on the bed. a full skirt bottom that stopped 4 inches above her knees and would flare straight out with even a slow twirl. That dress, that thin light blue cotton dress, the one she wore when we were on our honeymoon at that little private cabin at the lake. The one she said she could only wear for me. The one she could never wear in public because it showed too much. I remember seeing her standing in the doorway of that cabin, the sun behind her, and she was right. It did show too much. I could see right through it. Now what? Am I going to suddenly get lucky tonight? She must have been watching the play of emotions crossing my face, because when I turned back to her, she was sitting sideways on the chair looking at me and said, "This is comfortable to wear. Would you rather I put something else on? Maybe something red? I hear you've taken an interest in red lately. Now get dressed, or we will be late." If looks could talk, I just got accused of kicking the cat, beating the dog, making funny noises in church, and maybe even belonging to the wrong political party. Now where the hell did that come from? Only one way out. Do what all men do at times like this. The wimp in me reared its ugly head back and meekly said, "Yes, dear."
Saw thee.
I lost track of time in the shower. I then did as instructed. Polo shirt, shorts, socks, loafers, and billfold in the right side back pocket. I turned just in time to see the dress fall down over her head and settle around her body. She came over, turned her back to me and said 2 words. "Zip me." Again, my reply was perfect. "Yes, dear." She picked up the long scarf that went with the dress, wrapped it around her middle, tied it, and said, "Let's go." Saturday, 2 p.m., Tom and Nancy. Unlike the icy blue atmosphere at Robert and Samantha's, things were in the pink at Tom and Nancy's. Well, one thing was in something pink. 4 large, well-marinated T-bone steaks rested patiently in the refrigerator. 4 very large double foil-wrapped potatoes sat beside the T-bones. Nancy had just finished making the salad, and it waited on the shelf below the steak and potatoes. A 7-foot-tall privacy fence protected their entire backyard. That was something that was very necessary, considering what often went on there. It was the table under the covered patio that was currently in use. Tom and Nancy had searched long and hard for that table. It was exactly the correct height for its current use. Nancy's thighs barely touched the edge of the table. She was bent 90 degrees at the waist, her upper body lying flat on top of the table. Her arms were stretched straight out to each side, hands gripping the edges of the table. Her right cheek lay against the table, and her eyes stared out across the swimming pool, not focused on anything in particular. Although it was her husband, Tom, her thoughts weren't on him. Instead, they were on Bob and Sam. Tonight she and Tom were going to seduce them, introduce them to the pleasures of SW. It might take a little added persuasion, and she hoped that Bob and Sam would thank them when it was all over, just as several other couples had in the past. It would make Tom happy, and that's what was important to her. Tom was watching Nancy. Other than in their bed, this was his favorite place to F. Sometime soon, he expected to have Sam on this table, in this very position. He hadn't forgot about Sam slapping him a while back. He would have his revenge for that. Not tonight. No, tonight he would be with Sam on the king-sized bed in his bedroom. But soon, like maybe next weekend, he would be with Sam just like he was with his wife right now, and he wouldn't be gentle about it either. They did it for less than 10 minutes, and he could feel Nancy was about to end it. She couldn't have kids, and that was fine with him. He didn't care about kids anyway. They just got in the way. Saturday, 5:30 p.m. The steak was good. It had been cooked to perfection by Tom. The baked potato was perfect. When it come to steaks and baked potatoes, Tom had every right to be arrogant. The salad Nancy had prepared was a work of art. Those two could start a restaurant and make a bundle of money. So far, the food was all that had went right this evening. I was brooding. I wasn't showing it, but I was. I was also peeved. I wasn't showing that either. Speak when spoken to. Laugh at the right time. Smile. That's what I kept telling myself. Just smile. We had been here for about an hour and a half when Sam had to go to the little girl's room. I took that opportunity to follow her and walked into the bathroom right behind her. "Sam, what's going on here? What do you think you're doing?" "What's the matter, Bobby? Can't I have a little fun too?" "Oh, so it's Bobby now, not Robert? Is that you or the wine talking?" "Hey, Bobby, counting drinks now, are you?" "Well, I came here to have fun, and I'm going to have fun." "Look, Sam, Just cool it a little, please. Just what do you mean by that? Just what I said. Tom has had his hands all over you this evening, and I don't like it. Well, I notice Nancy has given you a fair amount of attention. I hear she's thinking of dyeing her hair red. You'd like that, wouldn't you, Bobby? Oh boy, this is going nowhere fast. She's well on her way to a good drunk, and I don't think there is anything I can do about it. Maybe if I could. Would you please leave? I want a potty in private. No sense in upsetting her any more than she already is. Yes, dear. I opened the door, stepped out of the bathroom, closed the door, and started walking back toward the patio. Wait a minute here. What is it with her and red? That's the second time today she has asked me about red. First she asked me if I wanted her to wear red clothes, and now she asked if I would like Nancy to have red hair. What in the hell is going on here? Nancy is blonde. Why would she want to have red hair? Saturday, 8 p.m. The game room. That's what they called this. A two-story house with a full basement, and the basement was the game room. Carpeted floor, big screen TV, cable-fed, with VCR and CD players hooked into it, and a large couch and a couple of easy chairs in front of it. There was a small wooden dance floor right in the middle, and a couple of more couches and easy chairs against the wall. A regulation-size pool table dominated the opposite end of the room. An old-fashioned jukebox sat next to the bar. It was a mahogany bar with 4 padded stools in front of it. A fully stocked bar. I wasn't brooding anymore. I give that up about an hour ago. It was the stock behind the bar that held my interest for the moment. Several years ago, I had discovered Crown Royal and 7-Up. I liked Crown and 7. It didn't taste bad, and most important, it didn't burn on the way down. I finished making my drink, came around to the front of the bar, and sat on one of those stools. The jukebox was blaring, and Sam and Tom were dancing to something called the Peppermint Twist. Yep, that's Sam all right. Sam, short for Samantha, that's her. Right out there on the dance floor. Her head was going in circles, and that long ponytail she had her hair tied into was flying all over the place. The bottom half of her dress was flying all over the place too. Every few seconds she would twirl or make some other fast move, and that dress would flare out, and everything from the top of her hips down would be exposed. Yep, there goes the dress again. Man, what a sweet looking she has. It not only looks sweet, it is sweet. I can tell that Tom thinks so too. Tom is a great guy. He cooked the steaks and baked potatoes earlier this evening. Right now, he was cooking right there on the dance floor. Tom's body was moving just as much as my wife's body. Well, his eyes weren't moving much. They were locked on Sam. She shakes her top and eyes on chest. She twirls, the dress comes up, and eyes on her back. Dress up, eyes down, dress down, eyes up. Yep, his eyes were well trained, and they were sure getting lots of exercise tonight. I was beginning to feel a little better about Tom now. He hadn't attempted to paw Sam since supper. Even during a couple of slow dances, he had kept a respectable distance between them.